Hi, I'm Deb Marnie and I'm from Aussie Maille. Welcome to our chainmail tutorial channel. Hey guys, big hi, hello, welcome, how are you? Thanks for popping in and spending some time with me today. So today I have got a weave demonstration for you and I will be showing you how to do Lorenz's Forget-Me-Not weave. Alright guys, let's just jump straight into it. Okay guys, so here's some sample pieces that I've made up for you today of the Lorenz's Forget-Me-Not weave. So popping up here on the side will be a list of the rings, and you'll also find it down in the description section, but I'll just quickly go through it with you. So this version over here is our 14 gauge AWG, which is 1.6mm diameter wire. And the ring sizes I've used here, the larger ones are 8mm ID and the smaller ones are 4.75. If you use fractional inches, you could probably do 5/16 and say 3/16. In the 16 gauge AWG, these rings are 5.75mm and 3.5mm ID. I haven't tested these sizes, but you'd probably be looking at somewhere around maybe a 7/32 of an inch might work. I'm thinking of the rings that we sell in colour here. If you wanted to add a little bit of colour, maybe a 9/64 for the smaller rings. For this one here, which is 18 gauge AWG, the bigger rings are 4.75mm ID, with the smaller ones being 3 mils. Maybe about a 3/16 of an inch for the bigger ones, and a 1/8 would probably work for the smaller rings. And then here in the 20 gauge AWG, 0.8mm diameter wire, 3.75mm for the large ones, and 2.5mm ID for the smaller ones. You know, you might want to look at maybe a 5/32 of an inch might work for the bigger one, and the smaller one, I'm not 100% sure. I think the 3/32 would probably be a little bit small, but they might be worth giving a try if you needed to add some colour or something to your work. So that's it guys, there's some samples of the weave. It's a beautiful weave, very simple weave to do. Alright guys, so to start this weave off, the basis of it is just a simple 2-2-2 chain. Now you'll need to make this up a little bit longer than you need it to be, because it does shrink up just a smidgen. So I would give it an extra couple of units on top of what you normally would make this. Okay, so just go ahead now and make up that chain. Now you can make it up as you go along, just make up a short piece and keep going until you reach the length, or you can do the long chain in advance and then make adjustments as you go along. So yeah, just make up a simple 2-2-2 chain with your large and small rings. As I said, you can just make a short piece of chain and then just add to it as you go down, or you can make this up in advance. So this is not a difficult weave guys. The aspect ratio for this weave, as stated on Maille Artisans, is aspect ratio of 5:3. The rings I've chosen have an actual aspect ratio around that, as close as I could get it. So this is our 14 gauge version here. So these are 8mm and 4.75mm ID rings. This makes it a nice snug weave. You could go a little bit bigger and perhaps it will make it a little bit easier to put some of the rings in place, but I like the nice snugness of it. Makes the weave nice and tight, and as most of you know who are long time watchers, I prefer a denser, tighter weave than a loose one. Alright, so guys, you just go ahead and make up this chain for as long as you want it to be, and I will meet you back here to show you the next step. Okay, so I've just made up a short piece of chain here. So once you've got that to the length that you want it to be, I've just put a twist tie at the top. Just gives me something extra to hold on to. It's not necessary, but I just find it helpful. Okay, so the next step is we want to take up one of our large rings and open it up. And then we want to go to the second pair of small rings here in our weave. Okay, so the first pair here is where we're going to connect the clasp or whatever eventually. But this one here, this is the one we're after. And what we want to do is, might be actually easier to turn it around this way so that our end is here down the bottom. We want to slip in between the two large rings here and then come up and pick up just the top small ring there and come straight up through that. So you can see we've just gone straight up through that one small ring. Okay, I'm going to close that up. And then I'm going to flip my work over to the other side. I'm going to go to the next set of small rings in my chain, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to come down through between the two large rings here before it, slip up into the top small ring there. Just make sure I go through there and close it up. Okay, and that's basically it, guys. So flip over to the other side and do the same. Now you can run down one side and down the other. I find it's easier to flip because when you run down one side, it can tighten up the other side a little bit depending on the rings that you're using, and it can make it a little bit more difficult because you've got you've tightened your space up, you've used some of your available space up. So I just find it easier to flip. You may like to do just down one side. In that case, you would go down every other one and then flip it over and do the other side. But I find it just as easy to just continue to flip your work. So down in between there, pick up the top small ring, making sure you're still in between the two large ones. Okay, we're not picking up anything. That ring is not going through anything but the small ring. Okay, and then close that up. Okay, flip it over to the other side. Do the same along that side, going to our next pair of small rings, going in between our large ones, just like you would if you were doing helm weave. And bringing it up through the top small ring. And you just keep doing that, guys, for the length of your piece of work. And that's it. So super simple, easy, quick weave for you guys to learn. But it really is lovely, and I think it would look very interesting if you incorporated some color into it. Maybe these extra side rings, add a little bit of color there, or you could add colored rings down at the middle. It's up to you guys. But this is yeah, a sweet little weave that I hope you are enjoying. Alright guys, well that's it. That is the video tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed it and that you have managed to add yet another weave to your ever-growing repertoire. If you did like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up here, share the video if you like, leave any comments or questions below in the comment section. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider subscribing to our channel. Check out some of our other tutorials that we have here for you. And of course, guys, don't forget to check out our shop link up here, where of course we sell all the bits and bobs and you know what's that you need to make up this lovely weave and many of our other tutorials here. Alright guys, thanks again for popping in, and I hope to catch up with you sometime in the very near future. Bye.